So when people think about God, we usually use the word father. And I want you guys to disconnect from the idea of father and mother as man and woman. Okay. God is not male nor female. God is both the father and the mother, and the ultimate expression of it, the all encompassing divine representation of these two energies, the highest expression of what the masculine represents and the highest expression of what the feminine represents. When we think of father and mother, we think of a man and a woman. And we forget that father and mother, they're words that represent a role, and represent a some sort of energy that within a certain cultures, within a household, that's what the father, the man, and the woman would represent. Meaning father would, it's usually the man that provides for the family and brings protection and brings direction and brings structure. The woman brings the spiritual solace, brings healing, brings nurturing, right? So we need to disconnect from this idea, this limited idea that God is either the father or the mother, okay? And we need to realize that we have an opportunity of mastering both the masculine and the feminine inside of each and one of us, because we have masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine is the movement of cause and effect, of action and reaction, of initiation and receiving. Is both the seed of life and the womb of creation. This is all feminine and masculine, masculine and feminine, in this eternal and infinite dance of energies, the yin and the yang, right? We need to break the stigma and the old way of thinking about these things, and we need to realize that these two energies, they're blending within ourselves, and they're by mastering them, by becoming aware of these energies, we can really change our lives. Some people don't know how to receive things. They don't know how to receive literally the prosperity of the world. They self-sabotage, so they have a hard time opening up to the feminine, that wants to the divine feminine, super powerful, that wants to actually come into their lives and bring them the prosperity. You can't have a structure without the two fundamental building blocks of reality. You need both the masculine and the feminine, right? So you need to give yourself to both of these energies. You can't be limited by none of them. They're already expressing themselves in your life, anyways. You already express masculine energy when you decide to do something, you go there and do it. Or when you feel some sort of calling in your life, that's direction, that represents a seed that wants to be planted. Masculine is the seed has a calling within itself. The seed knows that by being planted, it carries a code of growth inside of it, right? So a lot of people, they feel this calling. A lot of people, they say they're going to do something and they do it. They stick to it. Like the sun. The sun has a certain sun is very masculine. The sun has a certain discipline to it. It does the same thing every day. We can trust the sun. The sun provides support that is extremely masculine. It gives functional support. You can trust the sun, right? Think about it that way. Think about these two energies as these two different superpowers that you can develop inside of you. And think about God as the Father God and the Mother God. God is all encompassing. Don't limit the mother of creation and the father of creation. Don't limit the very movement of creative life, the very creative force of life. Some people, they talk about feminine and masculine in such superficial ways that is like, you need to open yourself up to these ideas. Okay, I wrote down some of the words that both Father God and Mother God represent. Father God represents protection, provision, strength, guidance. It represents the active structural support, the functional support. It represents safety. You can trust that the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set every single day. That's an aspect of you as well. You need to embody that safety. You need to embody that guidance. We can all be guided by the sun. Literally, the entire universe that you live in revolves around the dance between the masculine and the feminine, the sun and the moon, and the different perfect structure that they both together create the structure of life, right? So the sun also represents order. The seed, it represents a calling. It represents direction and discipline. Now, the mother, God, represents the healing, represents nurturing, spiritual solace. It represents sustenance and comforting. We need that other part of us to be awakened, for us to forgive ourselves, for us to have compassion with ourselves. Whenever we do something that we don't consider the best, you know, we need that feminine energy of forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to have compassion. We need to have that spiritual nurturing that brings back the light to us, right? We need to allow ourselves. Feminine has to do with allowing, allowing to receive, allowing to do it again, allowing. You know, if the masculine is going to represent initiation, but if something doesn't work the way that you think it should, giving up or becoming sad about it or becoming frustrated, overly frustrated about it, is a lack of feminine wisdom, because the feminine is always going to forgive you, is always going to nurture you, is always going to sustain you, so you can come back with that masculine energy of like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it again, right? And also, like, the feminine is literally the womb. That's where the word woman comes from, the womb of creation. So you can have a lot of masculine energy and you start something but you never finish it because you don't trust your own feminine energy. You haven't learned how to master the feminine energy, which is the soil. Okay, when you plant something in the soil, you need to wait for it to grow. You literally need to wait for it. It is the womb of creation. A baby is only formed after 9 months. It comes out, it's ready. And sometimes we're blinded to that aspect of the feminine. We don't trust it. We think it's not going to happen for us, and we're literally missing out on the movement of creation. We haven't understood the movement of creation. If I understand how masculine and feminine works, I can navigate through my life better. I understand the dynamics of reality, right? Literally, feminine gives life. If the feminine gives life, then I understand that whatever I do will come to life. If I start that new endeavor, it's going to grow. I'm going to advance. It's going to grow roots and it's going to give life. So, reality is both the seed of your ideas and the soil for them to grow. And whatever you plant, you're gonna get, right? So the feminine represents all of these things. I've written down here, it represents the tenderness, because you need to be active, but you need to be comprehensive. You need to understand things. You can't force things like that from a compulsive standpoint. You need to have that grace and that compassion for yourself so you can receive. Okay, if I'm too masculine, I can't wait for things to happen. I need to have these two amazing energies inside of me so I can have that divine unity that is already expressing itself through me and through the entire universe. This is everything is masculine and feminine. Everything is action and reaction, cause and effect, stimulus and response. Think about that more. We need to learn. We're here to basically learn to exist better. And we're here to transcend limitations. So I just wanted to bring this divine masculine and divine feminine idea and concept, because I feel like nowadays people talk about masculine energy and feminine energy in such a shallow, superficial level that it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't do any justice to the movement of life itself. So, think about this, and maybe we can use it. We can definitely use it so we can exist and create better.